It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, if you look on the interactive board, you'll see Mr. Gallagher. Mr. Gallagher is a congressman out of Wisconsin. He is now the chairman of a new committee in the House, the Committee on U.S. and China. And ladies and gentlemen, I've listened to some of these hearings, and I have to tell you something. The United States Congress, as far as that goes, the United States Senate, are completely bipartisan on this issue concerning the Communist Chinese Party. And folks, you know, there might be some small differences, but they're working together to try to protect the American people against this great threat from the Chinese Communist Party. And I urge all of my friends to watch some of these committee meetings. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's very, very easy to take a stand if you have no stake in it. It's very easy to look out past our industry, at maybe the textile industry, and be outraged because some famous brand is using slave labor. But boy, when it comes home to our industry, to those friends of mine that sell supply and service print equipment, it's a lot tougher to take a stand. And the reason, because we think about our friends that work at Lexmark as a great example all over the free world. These are our friends. We think about the 1990s when Lexmark started. But in the 1990s when Lexmark started, that was a different book. Those chapters have been written. That book ended. In 2016, there was a new book being written about Lexmark. And that book, starring 9-Star, Lexmark's new owners. And now we're in this new book, and we're in one of the chapters, and we're reading about something horrifying. That 9-Star has been banned from bringing products into the U.S. supply chain based on the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. And we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know how to take a stand because we keep going back to the original book, the book that was written in the 90s and all the way through to 2015. Because in 2016, 9-Star bought Lexmark and they started a new book. One of the things Mr. Gallagher said in this particular hearing that I found very, very interesting, he said that the Communist Chinese Party does a great job getting friends in the C-suite. And ladies and gentlemen, we have business leaders all over America that have relationships with the Chinese Communist Party. And I'm not saying that we should embrace and like Chinese people. What I'm saying is we can't embrace the Chinese Communist Party and their ideology. And we can't let them do whatever the hell they want with PRC companies and bring that product into our supply chain that could be tainted with the sweat of slaves. We have to say no. We have to take a stance. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share a couple of things with you. I went to Lexmark's website and I have to ask Lexmark this question. Why is Lexmark ashamed of its ownership? If everything's so great, why are you ashamed of the ownership? This is an alarm bell. Lexmark's celebrating its 30th anniversary, and if you go through their years, their chronological order here, you know what they forget to talk about? The 2016 acquisition of Lexmark by Apex, now called 9-Star. They don't even mention it. They send a letter out to the customers and partners talking about the 30 years. But they're still in the book from 1991. They're not talking about the new book that's being written by the new owners, 9-Star. Why is Lexmark ashamed of its ownership? Is it misleading or is it lying? I've talked about this before, but this is an alarm bell, ladies and gentlemen. I shared with you the response that Lexmark put on their website, and I asked the question, are they misleading or are they lying? And when they talk about a supply chain issue, and it's really an issue that their owners, 9-Star, have been banned by the Department of Homeland Security for bringing products to the U.S. supply chain. They don't talk about that in their release. Why is that? Because they're still in the book that was written in 1990. And we got to get in the new book, the one that's being written now with the chapters that we don't want to read. And when we read these chapters, we don't want to take a stand because we have friends. This is bigger than friends. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Trisha Judge And we know that Tricia is a big fighter for the remanufacturing industry, obviously, for all those independent companies that go out there and remanufacture print cartridges. But she put this petition out there. And I've read the petition. I signed the petition, and I want to thank Michael Stramali. I just happened to grab his comment where he said done. It was right underneath mine. In my comment, I asked Trish, I told her, keep up the great work. Now we need to get the BTA to take 9-Star Corporation off its website as a sponsor. We can't be out there promoting 9-Star when 9-Star has been banned by the Department of Homeland Security. We can't do it, folks. We need to take a stand. Michael, thank you for taking a stand. But we need more leaders to take a stand and talk about this. If you agree with Lexmark in their misleading statements, and you want to help promote that, then take a stand and do that. Those would cause great arguments. Our industry needs to take a stand on this, ladies and gentlemen. Time is not on our side. I saw an interview just this morning, and in that interview, one of our industry's leaders said that they called Lexmark, and Lexmark said they don't see any issues at all with the supply chain. Everything will be just fine. Ladies and gentlemen, when they heard that, that could have been its own story. That could have been its own arguments. We should have forced Lexmark right then to explain exactly how that's not going to be a problem. That your owners, 9-Star, have been banned from bringing products into our supply chain. How is that not going to be a problem? Who are your new suppliers going to be? We could have started having real conversations and real debate about this, but no. We want to continue to pretend it's no big deal. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big deal, and we need to take it serious as our industry. The BTA is having a meeting in Boston at the end of August. I'm going to that meeting. I've already bought my plane tickets. I already got the hotel room booked. BTA, you're the largest organization in our industry. This is a crisis. I know you plan your meetings years in advance, but guess what? Time's not on our side. I strongly suggest that you reach out to Lexmark, that you reach out to 9-Star. You put their executives on stage and we have a conversation with them about how this ban is going to affect our industry and all the dealers that attend your meetings. And I'm more than happy to moderate that conversation. But it needs to happen, ladies and gentlemen. And the BTA forum is a great place for it to happen. But the first thing we got to do is we all need to take a stand, sign this petition. And ladies and gentlemen, think about all this over the weekend. Because it's a serious, serious crisis. Have a great weekend.